Hey everyone, and welcome. Think about all the tech you use every day. Your phone, your laptop, you name it. But have you ever wondered what's making it all tick? Behind every screen, there's this unseen engine, this silent conductor making everything work. So today, we're going to take a quick 5-minute dive into that engine, the operating system.
Seriously, think about it for a second. You tap an icon on your screen and boom, a whole world just opens up. You save a file, you come back later, and it's right where you left it. It feels like magic, right? But it's not. It's actually a super complex, really powerful piece of software working nonstop behind the scenes. So what is this invisible engine? All right, let's get into it.
All right, so to really get what's going on with our devices, we have to pop the hood. We're about to explore the fundamental rulebook that literally every computer follows, and guess who writes that rulebook? Yep, the operating system.
Okay, so at its most basic level, an operating system is kind of the master negotiator. It's the software that sits right between you and the actual physical hardware of your device. You can think of it as a resource manager, or I kind of like this one, like a government. It has total authority over all the computer's resources. We're talking memory, the processor, the storage, and it's the one that decides who gets to use what and when.
And let me tell you, it is a very busy government. Your OS is constantly juggling a ridiculous number of tasks. It's figuring out which programs get to run, how all the memory is shared, where your files are stored, how to talk to your printer, and on top of all that, how to keep everything secure from threats. It's this nonstop, really high-stakes balancing act.
You know, to make this all feel a little less abstract, let's just zoom in on one of those really critical jobs, managing the computer's memory. This is something your device is doing every single second that you're using it. So imagine your computer's memory, its RAM, is like a big temporary workspace on a desk. When you open an app, the OS basically gives it a section of that desk to work on. But when you close the app, the OS swoops in, cleans up that space, and takes it back so another app can use it. Seriously, without this constant cleanup and reassigning of space, your device would just grind to a halt almost instantly. It's this essential management that keeps everything running nice and smooth.
But you know, this super sophisticated manager didn't just appear out of nowhere. The journey of the operating system is actually a pretty fascinating story of evolution. It stretches all the way from the earliest days of computing to the powerful cloud systems we all rely on today. Get this, in the very beginning, there was no OS. Back in the 40s, programmers had to manually load one single program at a time. Then, the 60s came along and brought us multitasking. That's the magic that lets you listen to music while you're writing an email. The 70s? That was the Unix revolution, and its core ideas still influence pretty much every modern operating system. Then the 80s gave us the stuff we all take for granted now: Windows, icons, the mouse pointer. The 90s opened the door for total customization with Linux. And finally, the 2000s put a crazy powerful OS right in our pockets. With iOS and Android, suddenly we were all connected to the cloud.
And what's so cool is where this whole journey has taken us. We've gone from these single, isolated computers to what are basically multi-computers, these huge, sprawling networks of machines all working together. Think about it like this. When you stream a movie or use a service like Google Docs, you're not just connecting to one computer. Nope. You're tapping into a massive operating system that's spread out across thousands of them, all working in perfect sync to deliver that service right to your screen.
So this long history has left us with 3 major players on the desktop today, and each one has a really different philosophy on how computers should work. So let's break down the big 3: Windows, Mac OS, and Linux.
Okay, so you've got Windows, right? It's the dominant force, built for compatibility and flexibility. It'll run on almost anything, and it is, without a doubt, the king of PC gaming. Then there's Mac OS. It's all about that refined, seamless experience. It's the go-to for creative pros who want top-tier performance and that perfect integration with their other Apple devices. And then, you have Linux, the champion of control and privacy. It gives tech enthusiasts the ultimate freedom. And get this, it can breathe new life into older hardware. So yeah, each one has its own clear strengths and is aiming for a different kind of user.
And this quote right here, it just nails the modern state of operating systems. It's not about a one-size-fits-all solution anymore. We've really entered an era where the choice is all about you, the user. Do you need maximum compatibility, a perfect, seamless ecosystem, or total granular control? There's an OS out there that was designed specifically for your goals.
Okay, so that brings us to today. But what about tomorrow? Let's look ahead toward the 2026 horizon, because there are some major shifts already taking shape, especially in the world of mobile.
All right, looking ahead, it's really all about two things: intelligence and adaptation. Our phones, they're going to need new hardware specifically designed to handle AI right on the device. We're going to see a huge push for AI features from giants like Google and Apple. We can also expect way more experiments with hardware, like foldables, all powered by an OS that has to be more flexible than ever before. And all of this innovation is going to be shaped by these bigger global forces, like shifting trade policies and the growing influence of emerging markets on what actually gets designed and built.
So that leaves us with this big question. We've gone from having no OS at all to an OS in our pockets that's connected to a global cloud. The next great leap? It's going to be defined by on-device intelligence, totally new kinds of hardware, and these shifting global dynamics. So, what do you think the next great OS revolution will look like? What will that unseen engine look like in another decade? It's a future that's still being written, and honestly, it's going to be fascinating to watch.